It's Saturday, mind you. So I'm just now, I'm going to be here a little late, but I'm just popping out of a forum site, and they were talking about the whatchamacallit paint we got here, the Apple Barrel Pure Gray, or Pure Gray, I can't pronounce that right, paint. And a few people were talking about that. It does have a good color, and a few people have used it for screen paints, for actually making their screen paints with it. I mean, like I said before, to each his own, but as you've seen with our black technology, black technology is far more advanced than a gray screen. But instead of going out and spending like 60, 50, $100 on a projection screen product that again has no way to back itself. Yeah, or as on a forum site, a lot of people were asking about this paint right here. Uh, it has a perfect color to it. It does. It has the white surface on it right now. So it's a bit of a challenge for people who make gray screen paint products. As I said before, your biggest problem is not going to be us at the end of the day. Your biggest problem is going to be the tones. That's the nightmare for you, because the tones can do exactly the same thing as the gray screen, unless the gray screen can show that there's some difference to it. All right, so I don't think I've announced myself. My name is Kenneth Berg. My company is Black Series Edition LLC, with the Imperial Gunmetal Crystal Edge Technology screens and FLEBT. And people are asking about the FLEBT. It'll be out this summer. We're still working on a few things with paperwork and stuff like that, but it will be out. But getting back to this, so where is the guarantee that the products that you are buying today, gray products, are not matching house paints? That's the problem. Are they match? Can they show a difference? And that's where you're going to have to come in. You're going to have to be able to show a product that, or your product that can do something different than everyday house paints. You're going to have to show a very, very huge, significant difference, as we show you when it comes to our black screens versus black paint, black fabric, and so forth. So let me show you how well this stuff performs. So that's why we're taking our screen out of the equation altogether, because if we put our screen in the equation, what's going to happen is the gray screen is going to fail miserably. So we want to show you the difference between the white screen and the gray screen using our $4.97 Apple Barrel pure gray. I gotta say that correctly. Hold on for a minute. Let me get my engine over here. Put that in. It tells me how to correctly say that. I don't sound like an idiot on camera. Let me see. Turn that off. Are my microphones on? I think my microphones are on. Let me go over here and grab this. I like this because there is silver in it. So it has a bit of a tint-based alloy. Yeah, it's kind of like a kind of a silverish metal to it. This is what it is. This is what that stands for. But it has a kind of a silverish metal to it. Something silver. So it's actually a very good tone. That's why I said a little bit more advanced than the Network Gray 773. Let's see. Speakers on. Pewter. Pewter gray. Pewter gray. It's pewter gray. 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 We're learning to say things correctly. You got to teach yourself these things. Pewter gray. So it's pewter gray. So pewter gray is a silver base gray screen that has, well, actually gray paint that has silver in it. So yeah, when we're in there, a few people are watching a demonstration. Some people that do favor the gray screens, they favor it. You got people who still favor white screens and people still favor silver screens, even though black technology is far more advanced. But like I said, it's a challenge that screen paints are just not going to go near it because, again, at that the price of it is extremely cheap. Pewter gray. Pewter gray. All right, pewter gray. All right. So let's go over to, let me see, pewter gray. I'm gonna go back here. So that's why I chose it, because it would be more interesting, an interesting test for our products, and it's more of a upgrade. It's better than it's more advanced than the network gray. So let me show you the difference between the white screen and the $4.97 paint. YouTube. How do we get a commercial on me requested YouTube? What did they put us on? All right, so let's go with usually the demonstrations I like to go with. Or let's see, we'll go with this right here. Like I said, I came out of a few forum sites, and they were talking about people who, I guess, who looking for a cheaper alternative for a projection screen. And wanting to do gray, could go with this because, again, it's only $4.97. It's 16 ounces. So you would need 32 ounces to do a 100-inch screen, and you still would come out much cheaper than spending 60 bucks for a screen, or 50 or whatever. If you're overseas shipping, then you could basically, you don't have to pay any expensive surcharge fees or anything like that, and the shipping is free. Now, I can easily advertise this because it's no threat to our products in any way whatsoever, because our products are far more advanced than a gray screen. But if you're doing a gray screen at the end of the day, you might as just do that, because to tell you the truth, there really isn't no difference unless they can show you otherwise. That's why there's a challenge behind it. And again, if you do take the challenge, you got to remember that this could literally wreck your product. Let me see. Now, why is this an important challenge to be done? And it shouldn't be a challenge to begin with. It should have been basically done in a test. Because, again, the customer has to make sure he or she is getting what they paid for. Let's go to, let me see. I think it's Apple Barrel, right? Yeah, Apple. Pewter gray. I got it up already. Now, if I was buying a gray screen paint, say black didn't exist, I literally would ask anyone who's making gray screen paints, what's the difference between me paying you this 60, 70, 80 bucks and me paying you and me going out and just getting this from Amazon? What's the difference? If you're going to say better contrast levels, I doubt that, because this basically has a darker gray than what I've seen in the Cinemax. I've tested the Cinemax. I've tested a screen called Pro HD. We tested Goose Screen. We tested all of those. So what's the difference? As far as I'm concerned, from what I've seen on the other fellow's gray screen paint, he can only produce at 2200 lumens. That's his limit. This is a 50 lumen projector. So this can pick up at 50. This can pick up at 1000 lumens. It wouldn't have a problem whatsoever. So we're going to pop over here as this is playing. We got it over here on Amazon. We bought the black already, mind you, for people coming in saying, well, what about you? What about me? I've done it already. I don't waste time on stuff like that. We go right in there and get it done. I'm still waiting right now for the slip silver. They have a micro blend version that's black. I'm still waiting for that. As soon as that thing becomes available, I'm grabbing it, bringing it down here, throwing it against my screen. As soon as it's available. And we'll let you know when I get it. Just like the other one. I told you, you're going to get it in here. It's in here. And now we've done tests on it, and it doesn't work. So this is the product right here. Ours was actually cheaper. So we had a high... if we matched that, we would have basically been in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. Because again, that means that our product wouldn't be worth anything. Because that means the price would have dropped dramatically on it. So this is $4.97. And the product we purchased over here, this is black, we purchased. Ours is $4 and, let me see, $4.47. Now, did you see me back down from that at all? I challenged myself. I don't need anybody to put a challenge out. I do my own stuff. So I basically bought it, put it up against there to show you that it doesn't work. Mind you, I've done this years back. Literally done this years back. Just can't figure out where the video's at because we have 10,000 videos or more. Couldn't figure out, so I figure let's do it again. But this is the gray. Now they have, this is the, for what I've tested so far, what I've seen right here on this gray right here, this is better than Network Gray 773. And this is at $4.97, as I told you. Shipping is free. Over here, you see shipping is free. So when we were over in the forum sites, people that were over there asking about gray screen paints. Then you still have people still out there. I got people out there still like white screens, still like white projection screens. That's what they like. That's what they like. But there are people asking about the pewter gray. They're asking about that, and I was like, yeah, we got that over on Amazon for like $9.97. So 16 ounces. You need 2 of those because that would equal 32. That'll give you up to 100. You should be at 120 inch screen from that. And no, there's no yellowish tone or any of that nonsense. Don't believe in that crap. That's just nonsense, yellowish tone. Oh yeah, let's see how that works when we challenge your company in court for fraud about that yellowish tone. Try to convince the judge, my lawyers, even your lawyers, that there's a yellowish tone to the screen. Yeah, it's not going to work in that courtroom. His company's being challenged on fraud, for those you don't know. He ripped off a whole lot of his customers and he sold them a house paint with no testing behind it. See, if he matched this stuff and he immediately pulled this stuff off his website, then he would have been good to go. There's nothing anyone could have hit him with, because he would have came out and said, hey, look, you know, we messed up. The screen paint actually matched house paint. We need to do more testing. And then from there on in, any paints you would have came up new had to be tested under this product that you matched to reassure your customers that you would not match this stuff again. But instead, he didn't do that. He continued to sell the product knowing that the product was matching house paint and continued to lie on camera, which therefore you committed fraud and we can file against your company. That's why I explain to people. Careful about doing that kind of stuff. Get you in a lot of trouble. That's like you having a recall on hot dogs and you decide you're going to keep them because you don't want to lose any money. All you got to do is send them back and they reimburse you. But some people don't do that. Some people will keep the food and their freaking freezers, and some kid or somebody will get sick, get Salmonella, E. coli, and then file a lawsuit against you. Because they can go back and they can check those serial numbers and find out this is a recall item. Not supposed to do that. So your product shows it's defective and it's having a problem and it's doing something it shouldn't be doing. Your job is to get rid of it and basically announce to your customers why you have discontinued the product. So now you're going to have to convince a judge, the attorneys, which would be our attorneys, and you have to be the judge and the attorneys on basically why you continue to sell a product and convince them that those are 2 different screens, which is not going to happen. And if you fail on this, you're going to be hit with a massive amount of fines and jail time. Fraud on a company is very serious. It's no joke, not something you want to play around with. You lie to consumers, you continue to use an active PayPal shopping cart, all that stuff. Yeah, you can get in a lot of trouble for this. A lot of trouble. And I was talking to my attorney. He said, yeah, you pretty much challenge companies all day long if you want. You just have to prove that they messed up. That's all. So if they're saying something they shouldn't be saying, if they're false advertising, if they have no way to back up any of their claims, you can take them to court. Now, before anybody gets that bright-eyed, bushy-tail idea at the end of the day to try to take Mr. Bird to court, all my stuff is tested. I can back up just about everything. Now, keep in mind, if you do waste my time and you do drag me into court and I do go in, I'll hit you with a counter lawsuit. $500,000 counter lawsuit. That's what my lawyers will hit you with for wasting my time. I'll go in the courtroom. I will embarrass you badly. And then after that, after a while, when we get out and all that's done, you get some documents that will come to your house certified. It'll be my attorneys. We filed a class action lawsuit, counter lawsuit, and we're suing you for $500,000. That's a waste of my time. Other than that, that's why you test all your stuff. Because if you test all your stuff and all your stuff is legit, then guess what? If anyone challenges you, you can actually conquer them in court and also to sue them. All right, let's look this up real quick. They literally can't do this. So that challenge is there. I want to make it note it's there. And for the customers, if you are in the field for a gray screen, I don't know why, but if you are, guess what? $4.97. And if they refuse to do the test, and then guess what that means at the end of the day? Go buy the paint. Now, for gray screens, let me explain something to you. If I felt at the end of the day that I was threatened by your product, I wouldn't be promoting that. I will promote any gray screen that pretty much in front of the tone selection, because that stuff serves no threat to my technology at all whatsoever. As a matter of fact, we give away free screen paint, gray paint. We even show you how to make it. So we don't consider you to be a threat. You're an obsolete. That's what you are. So you're not there at all, period. It's not to be rude, because some people say, oh, that's just, no, it's the truth. How many 8-track players do you see in cars right now? How many people in cars got rotary phones? How many people have got rotary phones in their homes? That's rare you find one. Extremely rare you find one. It's like trying to find a phone booth. It's extremely rare. I remember I went to a ex-girlfriend, not ex-girlfriend, detached ex-girlfriend now, but went to her house and they had a tube TV. Everybody has flat TV. They had tube TV. It was a 40-inch. The back of that TV looked like the front end of a Honda, because you know how big the backs were in the back. And I said, why don't you have a flat one? You know, that thing's impossible to lift. Like, things are freaking heavy. And eventually she did upgrade to a newer TV that had all the apps and all that and all the technology and everything. And she was just blown away by it. Just freaking blown away. Welcome to the future. So it's rare you bump in. Every time you bump into cars that still have the originals in it are classics and collectibles. So pretty much your screen is a classic. Classic gray. Actually, that's actually a fantastic name for a classic gray. Let me see here.
They told us to follow our dreams and said they were unrealistic because passions don't pay bills. But what they didn't know is that dreamers make.
So we got $4.97. Hold on for a minute.
That looks
$4.97. 2 times $4.97. Nope, you can get out of there, please. Thank you. So roughly to do 100 to 120 inch screen, this stuff has good coverage, by the way. It would cost you around $9.94 to do a 100 inch screen to 120 inch, which this stuff can easily do with no problem whatsoever. On Amazon, free shipping. This is more dangerous than the slip silver. Slip silver was around $17, I think, and $17 and I think 47 cents or something like that. It was like 17 or $18. Now you can get it at a gallon. It's a gallon for like around 45 or $47, which is still cheaper than what you pay for other screen paints. But this right here, it's just $4.97. Let's go over and show you the comparison of the white screen, or white surface. My LED lights are over here acting a little bit buggy. Come on, get in the slot. Thank you. My goodness, I'm gonna clamp those things in there a little better. My LED lights have around my table. All right, let's get this put back in. I'm going to get 2 of these. There we go. That's the difference between a white surface and our cheap paint. Now, mind you, the other people who make these products said their screen paints do not work on projectors of under. One has 2200, one has 2000. This is a 50 lumen 720p, which is still in the 720p category, and it is 1,000 to 1 contrast on our $4.97 paint. Now, if I wanted to upgrade that, I could do a half and half on that. Half PPG and drop in a little bit, about 1/4 of that Christmas glitter. If I wanted just slightly a little darker, I would put like 1 scoop of black in there, and that's basically about it. Let me see what they have on this one. They have some great stuff on there. Look up to their page. Down here. That's why. Out of 10,000 or more videos, we got people that are still watching our old videos. So they'll find our old videos, they'll contact us or ask them about the 8, they'll ask about the 7s. And then we have to tell them that, well, we don't make those anymore. Those are old, and we don't make those products anymore. And then we introduce them to the new stuff, which they're giddy and excited to get. You have to be able to show that your product shows a difference. They do watch the black on black demonstrations because they need to know that they're spending this money for this product, or they're getting what they paid for. We had a person we know who have ranted about our 20 ounce. 20 ounce of my technology can do things that your screen can't even begin to do. Customer I talked to, we talked about projector mapping applications. You can't do that on a gray screen or white screen. It doesn't work that well. Outside, you don't function in any way whatsoever. And you do not pick up on any projector, and any projector we possess, you don't run on it. Even your own, and I've seen that in the video. So, keep in mind, with that being said, why would I spend the money for that product if that one over there can do the exact same thing, or maybe better? I mean, if I want to go down the road of a gray screen paint that's untested, I might as well go near the grays or the tones. You gotta make sure your products are tested. But this right here, that pewter gray, that stuff right there is actually quite nice, and it's better than the Network Gray 773 because it does come a little darker and it already has the silver embedded in it. No black paint is required. I should be careful. I don't get this on my desk and wreck my desk. That's the color of it right there. See how dark it is? So this can easily pick up a contrast level far more superior than the Cinemax. Now the problem you have with the Frankenstein mix is too dark. It's a mixture of black and white paint. That's what it is. That's why we're able to mimic it from using the same demonstration. He shows you how to make the products for free. We're able to mimic his products from that. The problem you have with that, there's no way for that screen to collect white light. Virtually impossible. That's why it comes up so dirty. We have test demonstrations on the product on white levels. Didn't do too well. This would produce much higher and better white levels. Now imagine if we never did any tests on black versus our product. Do you have any idea how embarrassing that would be if we basically ever got challenged for that? We never had these tests done. That's why you have to get these done. They have to be out of the way. Now you have this to worry about. I mean, you thought the Network Gray 7073 was a freaking nightmare, and you thought that the slip silvers were nightmare. This one right here is even worse. Those of you who have white projection screens, been there and talked about that one too. There you go. Had this conversation in a forum site also. That, hey, I got this white screen. It has a 2.0 gain on it. I can see the difference in any other white screen. Oh, really? You really want to challenge that one, that theory? Have you done this test already? There are people who actually sell white screen paint. A lot do not. They sell a white screen paint. I have no idea how the freak that's working. I honestly don't know how that would be working. A white screen paint? Like how? What difference would you get from that? Spent $257 for a white screen paint? You literally can't bring up contrast. You definitely ain't bringing up any sorts of color. And you definitely can't see. It's not ambient light projection technology. It won't work. But they sell it. Guess what? I've done my tests on white screens too. And the paint, any paint, t-shirts, anything white will match a white screen. It's the same thing. They claim that others give off a kind of yellowish tone. That's the only time I've heard that one is from a white screen. Let's get something else. Let's get TLC demonstrations.
Getting that from YouTube.
Oh, let's grab this one here. That's at the group. Yellowish tone. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my entire life. Literally. I'll tell you one thing. I can't wait to get him in court. I can't wait. It's not coming fast enough. I cannot wait to get him in court on that nonsense. Get him in front of a judge. You tell me at the end of the day, does this have a yellowish tone? I would love to see you explain that in a courtroom. How in the world we're seeing a yellowish tone? Good luck with all that. Dumbest thing I ever heard on camera. I've seen some dumb stuff, but gee whiz Louise. Range gain? How? How are we kicking range gain at the end of the day? Stop doing that nonsense. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my entire life. Paint the screen with the exact same paint and the gain changes? What planet? This is what I'm talking about. This stuff like that needs to be nipped in the butt before it gets out of control. You see what's going on with the fake projectors. I told you there's only a matter of time before fake projectors started coming out with their own physical projection screens and claiming that you have to use their screens in order to get the projectors to work. And now look at the nightmares they got out there. They got projectors out there that cost $3,100, $3,700, almost $4,000 or $5,000 for a projector, and then a screen to go with it, which is even worse. Neither one of them work correctly. Next nightmare you're going to have is people out there making any stupid specification they could possibly think of on a screen paint and try to sell you something that literally at the end of the day, I guarantee you 100% is house paint. So you need to be challenged on it. And you know what I'm going to be? I'm going to want to challenge you. Now I got the time. I can run my company, do all my business, make my money, and at the end of the day, drag you in court and basically prosecute you. Because again, you're misleading people. That's why we don't support the knockoff projectors. We won't touch them with a 10-foot pole. Because with our technology, it's going to be the leading and the best technology that there is. You have a knockoff, you can't get access to our products. We don't support those machines. I think the knockoff projectors are fake, they're phony, and they're not real. Can't read the fact that you can't even read a native 4K, something's wrong with that. $3,100 for a projector that can't read native 4K? What the heck is that all about? And at 3,000 to 1 contrast. What in the world? Really? The Valve projectors that has 3,000 to 1 contrast. That is nothing to brag about. That's downright awful. 3,000 to 1 contrast would have been big in 2011, 2010, even 2009, maybe 2012, but no, not now. It wouldn't be. Let's grab this one right here.
Pure Leaf Craft's real brewed iced tea, using the highest quality tea leaves. No artificial flavors, nothing that doesn't make our
minimum
tea
that
better.
projector should have had 10,000 to 1.
Pure
Minimum.
iced tea, real variety, real brewed.
There's something going around the Gordon home.
Optima GT 5500 full 1080p projector has 20,000 to 1 contrast. Valve projector claiming to be 4K, not even close to it, is a 1080p base projector with a 3,000 to 1 contrast attached to it. So you can see right there, the contrast is better on our gray paint. Let me put my paint back up there. Here we go. Boom. At $4.97. Now, for anyone who wants to do this challenge at the end of the day, you got to be live. YouTube live with this. And if you bring it to their attention for them to do this test, and they don't do it, if you request for a gray versus gray demonstration to make sure you're getting what you paid for, keep in mind one of the products has a shipping policy on it that tells you that if you open one of those containers, you can't get an exchange. You can't even get your money back. The other one is if it lands on the property. There's 2 of these policies in there. If it lands on your property, you don't get your money back or no exchange. So I think it would be a smart idea to ask them, hey, have you tested against this stuff yet? Do you match this? Because you know how much money you could save. Now I've taken my screen out because I have to. Because if my screen's in there, then you're just going to see all this fail miserably. Right now we're just talking about the gray screen challenge. So let me see. We're spending, let's see. Let's see. Let's go with the $9.97. So $60. You buy 2 of those. You're going to save $50.03. That's all you got to pay for your screen. The screen's going to cost you $9.97. I'll pause that for a minute. Yeah, better improvement than the widescreen, I'll tell you that much. Why didn't I bring that back? Pause it, then bring it back. There we go. That's perfect, right there. Okay, good. Let's go on our paint. Let's go pick up, let me see. Oh, here it is right there. I was looking for that. So what's the difference between the hobby paint and the screen paint? What's the difference? So as far as I'm concerned, that gray paint doing a heck of a job. For a gray paint that costs $4.97, it's doing an incredible job. Now, here's the hard part. If you marked on your specification sheet that your gray paint products work at the minimum of 2,200 to 2,000, you can't do this demonstration on a 50 lumen projector, because that means you would have lied in your specification. You're a hypocrite. So we had tons of demonstrations on these 50 lumen projectors, 200 lumen projectors, 720p projectors at 1,000 lumens. We have tons of projectors. We do demonstrations on all sorts. We just put it down as 1,000 lumens because that's what we actually go with. But we can go much lower than that, and I've made statements like that in many demonstrations and showed off demonstrations on these projectors in fully lit environments on large screen sizes. But if you put down the minimum, that's your minimum product right there, at 22 at a gray screen, that is, something's wrong with that. A gray screen can pick up at 50 lumens to around, I'd say 50 lumens and up. A gray screen should be able to pick up with no problem. So I don't know if they're going to go in and change at the last minute or whatever, but it doesn't make a difference. Either way, at the end of the day, you're still not going to be able to beat a $4.97 paint. Just not going to be able to beat it. So that's the difference between a $4.97 paint versus a white surface. Now, the reason why we mentioned those are the two, they're doing the most yelling and screaming, they're complaining. Look, there's no point in complaining about it. Just go pick it up from Amazon and just do the demonstration. That's all you got to do. And we did it. So all you got to do is just pick it up and put it against your products. Now, am I going to go looking for that demonstration? Nah, we ain't got time for that, and we really don't care. But you should have done it. Mind you, I've already seen what happened with the slip silver. I'm not going to come in and request over and over and over again for you to do the demonstration. I really don't care at the end of the day. This is for your customers at the end of the day, to let them know that at the end of the day that they can go and they can get a cheaper product they don't have to buy from you. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm a busy man. I'm updating websites. 10 hours to update one of my websites. So I am not going to have the time to go in and check in behind you to see if you've done the job. We know you don't do the job. So we'll leave this up to your customers. This is research for your customers. From now on, we bring a great paint out and we let it be known that this could easily match a everyday screen paint product. We leave it up to the customers. It's awareness for them. So if they are going to go out and they are going to basically do a gray screen, at least don't pay $60 for it. Because if they haven't done the black on black demonstration, the gray on gray demonstration yet, as these demonstrations are not posted strictly to their website, if you're not seeing these tests being done frequently, all the time, live on their channel, don't touch the product. That's what you do. That's exactly what you do. Then later on, you don't have to worry about getting burnt. Like, having your son or daughter walk in front of your screen with a gray hoodie and go, huh, would you stand there for a minute? You got to be freaking kidding me. Yeah, there you go. What they do, and when they try to fool you, is they bring in those high-powered projectors, because the projector's doing all the work. That's what it is. Try to make you think at the end of the day that that image that's coming off that projector is actually all the screen paint. No, it's not. It's not at all, period. That's why they choose those very expensive machines at the end of the day. But even those machines at the end of the day fail when they're on the wrong screen.
Learn more at dhs.pa.gov/staycovered.
Clarity right there, and a video in a very dark environment said that the P2 projector and his screen paint pulls up a better contrast level in a dark environment. In a fully lit environment, the screen paint and the Cinemax failed both together. They both failed to produce the contrast level. Here we are, no 4K, basic 720p, no 1080p, 50 lumen projector, and as you can see, our gray, pewter gray paint, hobby paint, at only $4.97 is picking up an outstanding picture. Now, like I said, our technology in the picture, none of this will work at all. If we take out our technology out of it, then you see exactly at the end of the day that this is doing a better screen than the white screen. Just showing off a little bit of our technology really quick. This is why we can promote this product, because in no way and form does it match our products. It doesn't have the capability. But it is much better than a white screen, and it's much cheaper than some of these expensive gray screen paint products out here on the market that are claiming to be doing something special when they really aren't. Now, if you do have a product that's special, maybe it's different, maybe I'm wrong at the end of the day, and that's what that challenge is for. You should at least have close to about 20 of these demonstrations already done. We literally have to build another page for our black versus black because there's that many. That's the reason why we can promote that product. I can promote any form of store-bought paint. I can show you how to make our paint, our gray paints back in the day, for free. Because a gray screen is no threat to us, as you can see. Sony, 1 hour demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
Sony one that has the transition. Let me see if they gave it to us. There we go. Not that one, this one. That's the reason why you have to be in an ambient light controlled environment, because of the transition. So if you're in a fully lit environment, and your screen switches over to a star field, real black, heavy contrast level, what happens if you're in a fully lit environment with a gray screen? That means you have to turn your lights up, right? Yeah, so you have to put yourself in an ambient light controlled environment to optimize your viewing pleasure. That's what you have to do. AKA, you can't be in a fully lit environment because the screen transitions to a darker level, your screen washes out, and so does your color go right along with it. So you have to be in a darker environment. And you're using an ultra short throw, you're not supposed to be in a dark environment. Ultra short throw projectors use this when you're watching movies. But every day, TV shows and all that, all your windows should be open. You should have no problem with that screen functioning in a fully lit environment. So we call this a transition. We go from light colors to dark colors. The screen should be able to do this automatically without changing the environment. There you go. There's the transition. So if you notice, the gray screen can't change. So if you were in a fully lit environment, everyday home setup with all your lighting on, and you had it on an ultra short throw, whatever projector you're using, guess what? Your screen would have turned gray because it can't transition. That's why. Only black technology has that capability. If you go back and you change it again before the transition, put the white surface up there. Now, if you look at the gray screen, it's able to transition also too. But the problem is it still can't read a 100% infinity black level, which is needed because the display that the projector is showing is black, not gray. Now let's come out of here real quick. Right there, okay. We'll leave the transition from here. And then we'll switch right into color. Now again, they're very angry and you know they're upset, but again, I can't explain this enough. I'm going to talk about this a lot. I'm going to talk about this when I go on site because I'm going to educate people about the gray screens and white screens. This is what we're going to talk about. It is a topic that we're going to talk about. If you take this offensively and it upsets and you get angry and you get bitter over this and you start screaming and yelling, you've outed yourself. What you should be doing is backing your products, doing testing, showing that there's a difference between your product and this great product right here. If you're not doing this and you're avoiding this and you're just snapping out and getting upset, you've already exposed yourself that fast. A company that's legit can back their stuff. A company that's not will sit and complain. So lashing out at me is not going to help you. It's not going to sell you any paint. It's not going to get you any customers. It's not going to get you clients. It can get you nothing. It's not going to work. People are going to see you for what you are. Back your products up. So what you need to do is, if this is your threat at the end of the day, or that's your threat at the end of the day, you're going to have to do something at the end of the day. This right here is a worse threat than that. This is already obsoleted your product. Gunmetal has already obsoleted your product. This right here can eliminate your product's very existing. But this, at least you can sell it to a certain degree. But this, no. This would basically end your product. This is the Widowmaker, the ender of all enders. You match one of these at the end of the day, when these tones, nobody will touch you with a 10-foot pole. And someone's already matched the tone twice, actually 3 times. And several demonstrations, even being challenged in court. He's going to be challenged in court on that. Because he continued, keep in mind, he continued to sell the product long after he found out he was matching house paint which means any consumer who has purchased that product after that demonstration, they can be part of a joint lawsuit, because again, you committed fraud, and you can't do that. If your product is faulty and it fails, then you have to remove the product. You can't continue to sell it. So let's go back to that right there, and we'll show the gray screen. Doesn't do the transition all that well, but it does basically produce a better image than the white screen, as you can see. Much better than the white screen. And mine is the $4.97 product. It picks up on a 50 lumen projector, 720p. I'll put the model number of my projector in the description of what my projector is. And they're saying their products only pick up, like I said, 2,000 to 2,200. That's picking up at 50 lumens, and it's hobby paint. As you can see in the demonstration, it doesn't match our product in any way whatsoever. But at least it's a lot cheaper than paying 60, 50, 70, or 80 bucks for paint. Especially if you know at the end of the day it hasn't been tested against it. So I'm going to let that run right there. And you can watch that demonstration. You get a chance to see lots of colors, watch the white levels on our $4.97. Keep in mind, if you want to do a full 32 ounces of this, you're going to need 2 of the 16 ounces. How much did they have in 32 ounces? Maybe they got it in 32 ounces. Let's see how much the 32 ounces are. I think they got it in 32 ounces. Let's see if they got it in 32s. They may have it in 32 ounces. Who knows? Now, like I said, I have no problem with showing this off because, again, it's not a threat to our products. And, you know, I'm not going to go behind them, try to figure out if they're doing it or not, because we know they're not doing it. This is up to the consumer. This is up to the consumer to ask these questions. And this is to show you at the end of the day that, you know, those products aren't really doing anything special. So yeah, they only sell it in 16 ounces. So still not bad. For that $4.97, you're still talking about, for 16 ounces, you could pretty much, like I said, you could probably do 100 inch with 16 ounces. I'm pretty sure you probably can. I'll have to test that and see if that's true. But 2 of these, like I said, is $9.94. Now, like I said, do I approve of upgrading your white projection screen to a gray screen? No, not really, to tell you the truth, because again, as I told you before, we can show you where a black screen will overpower a gray screen on so many levels. We just showed you that. But if you're going down that road and that's the road you want to go down and that's your chosen road and you want to go with a gray screen at the end of the day and that's what you really want, okay? Then instead of going out and spending all this money for a product that's untested, that you don't know what you're getting yourself into, then the best thing to do is just go get one of those right there. $4.97. Look at the difference on that on a white screen versus that gray paint. Remind us, no 4K projector. What we're using in our demonstration, no expensive 4K projector. That is a 720p projector right there. So we don't need a 4K projector to show you, look, you get this amazing image. Just cheap paint right here will do it itself. Do it for you. I remember the fellow getting mad at us. No one can mention his name on our camera, videos, but got mad at me and said he wants 160 bucks for a 20 ounce of that product. Well, 20 ounce of that product can take out a $5,000 certified screen, can do things that a gray screen can never ever do. That's why that product at 160 bucks is considered to be very, very cheap, especially with all the amount of testing. So you compare my products testing compared to your products testing. Nothing there at all. Not a thing at all. So our product's worth its weight in gold. It's designed to do what it's designed to do. We can beat house paint at the end of the day. Any given day of the week, we can knock out a house paint. But if you got a product that can't knock out a house paint, and a house paint can overpower it and take over it, then guess what that means at the end of the day? It means your product is worth way less than the house paint. Now, what makes this product dangerous, as I said before, this product right here is $4.97. You fail to beat this product, and what's going to happen is, or anybody who makes a great paint, if you fail to beat this product, you are under the price of $4.97. Which means, what could you sell your product for?
Hiking, biking, Bigfoot sighting, and this?
Even if you try to sell your product at $2.97, you wouldn't make any money. That'd be virtually impossible. Your shipping cost would cost more money to ship that product out. So since our technology not only can beat the black paints and fabrics and all that stuff, but keep in mind, since we can knock out a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 certified projection screen, our product's worth its weight in gold. Under $500, our technology can do things that certified $5,000 screens can't do. So our customers save money, a lot of money. Or if you're using the gray paint, you're going to spend more money. So at least if you got to spend money already on the projector already and everything else you need to get the projector to boost, you should at least at the end of the day get a product that works and that's tested. If it's not tested and it doesn't work, then guess what? Find other solutions. If you're going to go out and buy a great product at the end of the day and there's no testing on this product, there's nothing to show any difference in any of the gray tones out there on the market, then guess what you need to do? Go buy the gray tones. So I'm showing you a side-by-side demonstration of the $4.97 product right here that you see on Amazon that you can go buy. If you're into that gray paint, that's what you're into. But at least you're saving some money. You're not getting ripped off. So as I said before, it's a very simple challenge. Really doesn't make a difference what projector you use, ultra short throw, long throw, doesn't make a difference. You can use it with the lights out, lights on, doesn't make a difference. You're going to have to be able to overpower the screen. You're going to have to show a difference between night and day and to show that your product does not match this Apple Barrel product. Keep in mind, as I said before, because the product is very cheap, it's very affordable. Overseas customers can buy this right off Amazon, right off their cell phone. And they can get this for $4.97. Or if they want to do 32 ounces of it, they'll need 2 of these, and it'll cost you $9.47. Keep in mind, you won't pay for any shipping if you're overseas. If you bring this up to anybody who's making gray screen paints and ask them to do this demonstration live, and they deny it, they change the subject, then guess what you do? You go buy the paint instead. Now we're showing the difference between a white surface and the cheap paint from Amazon on a 50 lumen projector. We also showed you parts of the demonstration how it compares to our technology, and as you can see, it doesn't come close. So with that being said, this gives you an idea why we're not threatened by gray paint at all, period. Now, as I said before, people that want to continue to make these dumb demonstrations about our products not coming up, they're too dark, you can't watch them, you can't see. Well, as I said before, we'll see you in court. And then you're going to have to back that up, which we all know you can't. But if you ever want to take me to court and say, hey, look, these demonstrations I'm doing right here are faulty, they're not real, our products won't match this in any way whatsoever, knock yourself out. I would love to see you do it. Because again, as I said before, I've been testing gray screen paints for a long time. I can pick out 4 paints in my collection that'll actually match. Network Gray 773 is a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. That stuff will match just about everything. Amazon Slip Silver is another one that's extremely dangerous. So, and in this one right over here, again, another dangerous gray tone. Now, like I said, if I'm wrong, then there should be no argument, no one getting upset with me at the end of the day. They should do the test. I didn't sit there and get better when I did tests against black versus our product. I went and did the test. 7. And a bag up taco. Let's get on out the door. Do the rest of this with the lights on, and I gotta go. Dunkin' Donuts is probably open until 10 o'clock, so that's the beautiful thing about living all in the same area. So my house, I'm gonna go pop over there. I got some stuff I'm working on in the office. As I said before, we're not doing that ever again. It was nice, basically at first, showing off the inside of my home and showing off my projection screen. But as I said, we acquired some weirdos along the way, so I keep all that separate. We got a nice little office and storage area in here, and then we got a nice little house someplace else, which I'm never going to give the location of any place I ever live at ever again, because we have the weirdos. And even after the weirdos are prosecuted and in jail, we're still not going to give out locations like that ever again. Alright, let's finish this up. Well, as you can see, the pewter gray hobby paint does the exact same thing as these gray paints do out here on the market. As I said, for $4.97, you can basically get 16 ounces of it. And if you need 32 ounces of it, and this is what you like, you want that gray paint in the day, you could do it at $9.94. If there's any gray paints out there telling you that they're different and this is not them at the end of the day, then I would look forward to, I won't have time to go see your demonstration, but if you could do the demonstrations for your customers, that would be nice. So that way your customers can see that they're getting a 100% screen paint product and not a product that, again, he or she can make themselves. Because you need to back that up. All right, with that being said, I got to go. Thank you for your time, and God bless.